I want to talk to you about my life education. Looking back at school, well, I'm deaf, of course. I went to a deaf school from the ages of 5 to 11. And I thought it was absolutely fantastic, the sign and support, the sign language skills. And obviously, after primary school, I went to secondary school, and there was very, very little support. Obviously, because I was in mainstream school, so obviously there's a mix of deaf and hearing, so I was completely oblivious to what was being said most of the time. So obviously I went to Deaf Club to get the extra skills, to polish up, Maths, I thought it was too easy for me, It kept giving me easy equations to work out. I left school, I was quite happy I left school. I went to college. I'm really happy I went to college, because it made me look back at myself. Who am I? What is my deaf identity? A lot of deaf people say you sign, but there's a lot of people that sign. Hearing staff, deaf staff, all can sign. I found it absolutely gobsmacking. At school it was completely different. In the hearing world, and then here it's a massive contrast. They're all beautiful signers. My parents were always on at me about school, and I thought, well, the work's too easy for me. I'm gonna go to college now. It's fine, I realised here that communication was number one. It was top drawer, you couldn't beat it. 3 years I left, went to my parents' house, and I thought I'd look for some volunteer work, help some deaf-blind people, support them. Those that are lonely, that got wives, but make them tea and coffee, play bingo with them, support them, work for the company. That focused solely on deaf-blind people for 1 year. I thought, well, the guy was a nice guy, but unfortunately he died. And after that, I thought I'd assist a nurse. For deaf people with mental health problems. Got a bad background. They've been raped, the mother and father abused them. Just to support them, really. The one time I couldn't believe it. The guy ran off, and I had to run after him, get him back. I had to calm him down, obviously. I thought it was a very, very emotional time for me. After that year had passed, I applied for a job in a residential home in Walsall. There were deaf people with learning difficulties. We had to teach them how to cook, how to become independent, washing up, how to wash their clothes, just for 1 year. I thought after that year, I want to be a social worker. I thought I'm really good. I want to help deaf people. So I gave up my job, went back to college. Went to private college, and I did access to higher education course. Why is that? Because I had no background qualifications from school. The only things I got was textiles and cooking from school, really. That was the only GCSEs I managed to achieve. The school was awful. They really gave poor education. So access to higher education, that enabled me to go to university. So for 1 year I did we went to psychology, studying communication, English, and maths. GCSE, it was a necessity. It had to be done. So I passed them all. It's fantastic. But I went one side, and I went to Wolverhampton University. I arrived at university in 1995. And I was doing the interpreting first year, and I was really excited to study because I knew nothing about deaf culture, deaf information, the history of the deaf world. So I was in the interpreting first year, but it didn't really suit me because the interpreter was it was a translator. It was translating, voicing over, and it wasn't really me, so I changed over. So I went on the special needs course, Deaf Studies and Special Needs, in the second year. So by the time I got third year, finished, I graduated. It was amazing. Got my BA Honours degree, a 2.1 classification, gave myself a pat on the back. So after uni, I travelled the world for 3 months, just to enjoy myself, to celebrate passing uni, see what the future holds. Those 3 of us, and I thought it was an amazing experience, best time of my life. Obviously, finished the 3 months, finished my little trip, came back, and I thought, I'd look for some more volunteer work again. Walsall College, with deaf students, teaching them maths, English in the mainstream world, hairdressing, plumbing. And I found there was a job that came up, so I applied for it and got it. It's fantastic. You know, it was perfect timing. But I had to go to university to do a PGCE course for 2 years. It was really hard work. And eventually got the qualifications and I was qualified as a lecturer. Fantastic. So now it's been 12 years now at Walsall College. I've been a lecturer. And in 2007 I became an assessor for the MVQ Level 3 and Level 6 BSL course. And I thought it was fantastic. I love supporting deaf children in education. It's amazing. So obviously I take in the information and I translate it into BSL for them to understand. You know, there's plenty of variation. It's awesome. So I think, what do I want to do in the future? What am I interested in? It's a qualification called QTLS. You know, it's children up to 16, but now it's up to 19. You know, that's where I want to work maybe in the future. Do I want to work in a school? I've got a PGCE, but I don't have a QTLS. You know, so I'm interested to apply. You know, what do I want to do? School, college? Not too sure really. Thank you.